Listen, guys, a lot of these I haven't played. Full discretion. So we're gonna change. We're gonna change F tier to haven't played. Okay, so E tier will be the worst, and haven't played. So right off the rip, I can tell you, as of right now, I have not played this game. I have not played Call of Duty 2. I have not played this one, and I have not played this one. These four I have no actual opinion of, and I haven't played this one either, I don't think. All of these two. Okay, I've actually played Call of Duty 3, so I can make an opinion on that, but I've not played these games. So, what is that? Call of Duty, something offensive, Call of Duty 2, all of these games I have literally never played. I know one of these is definitely probably like Finest Hour or something, and I've never played it. That's fair. Use the lowest sections for none played games. So yeah, that's essentially what we're going to be doing. So you have S tier. Just in case anyone doesn't know how a tier list works, I'm gonna run you through it real quick. S tier is best of the best. A tier is right below that. B tier is above average. C tier is always your average tier, which is this game has flaws. It has good sides. It has bad sides, but it's not like bad, but it's not good. D tier is bad games, and E tier is your absolute shit tier games. Okay, so getting straight into it, we're gonna start off in S tier. The only games that I truly believe belong in S tier are Black Ops 2 and Modern Warfare 3. And the reason for Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops 2 being up there is I feel like these games had the best guns. No gun was not viable. You could use anything and it would still be good. Now, obviously, they had tiers in this game, so there were guns that just outperformed everything, but there were guns that you could just you didn't have to always run top tier guns in order to do well in this game. These two games were way more about finding encounters instead of gunfights. That it was crazy, and the maps that they put in the game allowed you to do that. They also allowed for multiple styles of play. Sniper, SMG, and AR all thrived in these two games very heavily. So, I mean, unless you want to count sniping, and Black Ops 2 is really inconsistent. But I feel like these two games are the only two S tiers that I can put simply because everything was usable and a majority of the maps were good. Okay? Now, we're going to get into A tier. Now, this might throw some people off or make people mad, but this should come as no shock that Modern Warfare 2 is going to be up here. Call of Duty 4 is going to be up here, and Call of Duty Black Ops is going to be up here along with World at War. Okay? These four games I grew up playing. Now, are they the most balanced? Absolutely not. You want to talk about Modern Warfare 2, One Man Army, Noob Tubes, Danger Close? Let's talk about it. You want to talk about Modern Warfare 2 not having any recoil on the ACR? Let's talk about it. But you were still able to run every playstyle in these games. Now, let's be honest, some of the maps were not the best, but a majority of the maps in all of these games are all playable. They all have multiple different ways that you can play the map. Did snipers thrive in all of these games except Black Ops 1? Yeah. But that didn't mean you had to run a sniper. So these games, for me, these four are rightfully earn A tier. The reason I can't put Modern Warfare 2 up here is there are too many things that are broken with it in order to put it in S tier. So it has to stay here in A tier. If I put Modern Warfare 2 up here, that's saying that it is as balanced and as easy to, and all the guns are as viable as Black Ops 2 and MW3, along with a majority of the maps being good. Let's be honest, Modern Warfare 2 had some really bad maps. You want to talk about it? Let's talk about Underpass. Let's talk about Wasteland. Okay? World at War. World at War being the last World War II game that we got before Call of Duty World War II. And honestly, I think they should have left it there. This game was unique because it was the last Call of Duty game that actually implemented any tanks into multiplayer. which the tanks were completely busted. And if you got a tank, you were instantly dropping a 25 kill game against people that didn't want to run at the tanks. But if you got on a map that didn't have tanks and you actually had like legitimate gun skill, there was a lot of guns that were viable in this game. There were just some really, 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 really strong ones that outshined everything. Let's talk about the PPSH extended mags along with the top tier MP40 extended mags that I think had like 75 shots in it or something ridiculous. It took an SMG and turned it into a light machine gun. It was nuts. Was it somewhat unbalanced? Yes. Was it still super fun to play? Of course. Black Ops 1, let's talk about it. Black Ops 1, we all know the Black Ops 1 FAMAS. Okay, Black Ops 1 FAMAS, we all know. It was an AR, it was an SMG, it did everything. Okay? But, let's be honest. Most of the Black Ops 1 maps were good, minus a few. Come right off the top of my head, WMD, not one of my favorite maps. Still did well on it, but still not one of my favorite maps. And whatever that map, when you were in like the inner city, there was like a row of buildings on each side with one street coming down the middle. That map is trash. Forget what it was called. Most of the rest of the maps are pretty good. Not to mention, this is the first game that implemented Nuketown. And we all love and hate Nuketown. Okay, COD 4, I was just talking about this earlier. Someone told me they wanted my opinion on COD 4. I think COD 4, for the time being, it was way ahead of its time. It put everybody on like a balanced level playing field, which allowed for more just like it was the better player who won. No insanely overpowered kill streaks. It was just 357. Everyone played with 357, radar, airstrike, helicopter. Helicopter was easy to shoot down with the access of M249s everywhere that were mounted that had unlimited ammo. Along with it would take 2 RPG shots. Mind you, the RPG required skill to hit the helicopter with because it didn't lock on. But I mean, you want to talk about some of the overpowered stuff in COD 4. The COD 4 M16 stopping power. We all know. We've all used it. We've all done it. We're all guilty of it. Don't tell me you're not unless you've never played COD 4. I don't necessarily think the M16 was as broken as people want to say it is. It was a high skill weapon. Did it have a higher fire rate than most burst guns ever in Call of Duty besides like the M8 in Black Ops 2? Yes. Could you one burst people clear across the map if you hit all 3 shots? Yes. But was it a high skill weapon? Yes. You still had to hit your shots. There were guns in the game, like the M4, which had a very, very similar time to kill than the M16, but just were slightly below it because they were automatic, rewarding you for being good at shooting in this game, which is why everyone thinks the M16 was like super OP. Not to mention we had the implementation of the M40A3 and the Barrett 50 cal, 2 of my personal favorite snipers, but not even my favorite out of all COD games. Okay, we're going to move into B tier. In B tier, this is, I don't even know, like, okay, so I just want to say, I've played COD Mobile, and COD Mobile is something else, dude. If you guys have not played COD Mobile, please just go do for the memes. It's hilarious. I'm definitely going to put it down here in E tier, though. It's so funny. Because, like, if you're, like, a legitimate, like, mobile gamer, like, I know that there's people that do that, that's fine. Call of Duty isn't really, the engine, it runs smooth. It's just so, to me, it feels so wonky. And you could use a controller with it, or, God forbid, I watched somebody use keyboard and mouse on it, and it was placing them against people that were using their thumbs on the screen, and it was crazy. Like, so I just have to put it here. Okay. Sorry, I just had to get that. There was like a thorn in my side just sitting right there, and I'm like, that's Call of Duty Mobile. Come on. All right, so B tier. So we have the best of the best, right below the best of the best. Then you have the ones that are, we're starting to get into the more average Call of Duties, which C tier being average. So honestly, the games I'm going to put here are Ghosts and World War II. These games are like super interesting, okay? So Ghosts, I think, got a really bad reputation because it came out right after Black Ops 2, which is what most people consider as the best Call of Duty game ever. If they don't consider it Black Ops 2, they definitely think it's Modern Warfare 2, okay? So this game coming out right after Black Ops 2 kind of hurt it, and it was kind of in like a console transition. We were transitioning to the next gen, so Xbox One, PS4, from the Xbox 360 and the PS3, which kind of like cut the player base. But all in all, Ghost had like a bunch of different things going for it. I mean, so the maps, if we're not talking about Stonehaven or Siege, were pretty good. I think the reason that Ghost gets a bad rep besides that is the super fast TTK. You peek out for half a second and somebody with a Remington red dot muzzle brake is gonna map you. Yes, that existed. Yes, I was that person with the Remington, and you can comment in the down below when I upload this to YouTube and tell me that I'm a bad person. But okay, but like Ghost implemented some things that no Call of Duty game had done before, like destructible environments. You guys remember the map Octane, my personal favorite Call of Duty Ghost map? You could destroy the gas station, like fixture, and it would fall over and give you extra cover. Not to mention, you could blow up the things on top of the pawn shops and give you like a head glitch on top where everybody sat. It tried to do a lot of things. The problem that Ghost ran into was it slowed the gameplay down because the maps were big. So it leaned way more towards heavy AR play, and it kind of like heavy AR and sniper play where it kind of strayed away from SMG play. So a lot of the SMG players got like a really bad taste in their mouth when they played this game on launch. But let's be honest, if you played the competitive side like I did, and you only played on 5 maps, and they were the 5 best maps, everything was viable. Like if you got Sovereign or Freight or Warhawk or what were some Strike Zone. There was one more map I'm missing, and it'll come to me here in like 10 minutes after I'm done. But if you played on the good maps, everything was viable. So that's why I don't think Ghost is one of the worst Call of Duties ever. It had a lot going for it. Now let's talk about World War II. World War II is a 50-50 for me. This game is interesting, to say the least. Okay? So, Call of Duty, we had just come out of a really, really interesting time. Everything was double jumping. So we were like, hey, let's go back to World War II. Okay, yeah, cool. Let's be honest, World War II was average. It was just an average game. Nothing really excessively stuck out in my head about World War II. Like, yeah, if we're being honest, I'm kind of still mad at World War II for messing up my FG-42. Like, you had one job. World at War had the best FG-42 ever. And I'll never see another implementation of that gun unless they go back to World War II and make it right. World War II's FG-42 was phenomenal. And then they bring it back in World War II, Call of Duty World War II, and they mess it up. So I'm still mad at you for doing that, Sledgehammer. Why would you do that to my favorite gun? Shame on you. But Call of Duty World War II did have some things going for it. Maps were relatively balanced. The kill streaks were pretty balanced. You could honestly get a decent amount of kill streaks, even if you were an average player. And it had my personal favorite game mode ever implemented in any COD game, War, which we hadn't seen since World at War. So of course I'm gonna play it. It was phenomenal. They were like, it was a cool. If it was really cool. If you guys didn't play War and you can find a match on it in World War II, I highly suggest you at least try it. Okay, now we're gonna get into C tier, which honestly, like C tier is average, but for the sake of this, we're just gonna put Call of Duty 3 here and Modern Warfare 19. Call of Duty 3, if you guys are too young to have played Call of Duty 3, don't do it. Just don't do it. Okay? It was still a time where we were at World War II, or just in a World at War style game. And there were tanks everywhere. The maps were pretty large, and it gave you a sense of being in like actual World War II. But let's be honest, if you stepped foot outside of a building and you were not in a tank, you died. I'm just throwing that out there. You were blown up by a tank instantly. And I put Modern Warfare 19 here. Okay, so Modern Warfare 19, I give this game a lot of crap. Very, very strict skill-based matchmaking, forcing me, a slow AR player who typically gets a higher KD. I'm not even saying that I'm really, really good at the game. I'm just saying that I play a playstyle that typically gets a higher KD. So me having to play with the people slide canceling around the map, jump shotting and drop shotting with an MP5 is kind of annoying. This is why I stayed in the Ground War playlist, because I just like dropping kill streaks, because kill streaks equals content, and being a content creator, you want content, right? So, but Modern Warfare 19 did have some things going for it. The weapon customization and the class customization was phenomenal. Do I think you need 5 attachments on your gun? No, I think that's a bit excessive. I think at that point it's no longer it takes all the skill out of the weapon, right? So like back in like Modern Warfare 2, you get 1 attachment. And if your gun had high recoil, you had to control that if you didn't have an attachment on there that, controlled recoil, right? In Modern Warfare 19, that's not a thing. Oh, hey, your gun has super high recoil? Just throw on 5 attachments that give you no recoil. So the gun's just a laser beam. And you just rail somebody across the map. Not to mention you implement that into the piss poor maps that they gave us. Oh my gosh, those maps were bad. I don't even really want to talk about the maps because that could be a whole video by itself. I hated Modern Warfare 19's typical multiplayer maps. That's why I played Ground War. And it allowed me to snipe, which I enjoy doing. Not to mention you have the super fast TTK, Dead Silence not being a perk and being a field upgrade, slowed the game down even further. The insurmountable amount of camping. Like, I have a slow playstyle, and these guys are playing slower than me. Okay? If you watched any of my YouTube videos, you know I'm one of the most patient people on this planet. And these dudes are playing slower than me. That is just mind-blowing to me. Okay, now we're going to get into D tier, which is Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 3, and Black Ops 4. Okay? I honestly, this is 100% how I feel. Okay, so Advanced Warfare. I get what they were trying to do with the game. They wanted to be innovative. They wanted to give Call of Duty a fresh take, We've been playing boots on the ground Call of Duty since Call of Duty started. So they were like, hey, let's try to take a new approach. Did it work? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. What we got out of this game was simply 2 guns, and if you weren't running them, you were getting dumpstered by them. ASM-1 after the buff, BAL 27. Not to mention, this game also implemented supply drops that gave you better versions of a base tier gun. Now, just think about this for a second. Imagine, okay? The dude that has to play competitive, so they want to, or not even just play competitive. The dude who doesn't want to spend money on the game will get a few supply drops here and there. But just imagine you have a version of a gun in a game that allows you that is a better version of the standard gun just because you paid money for it. Imagine that. And that's what Advanced Warfare did. That's what all of these games from here on out did. I mean, you can say that about Modern Warfare 19, but I want to be completely honest here. The only gun that really sticks out in Modern Warfare 19 that was truly ever meta was like the AMAX. And the AS Val there for a minute, but everyone dropped the AS Val. Supply drops ruined this game, not to mention the maps. The maps weren't even that bad. If I'm being honest, for Advanced Warfare, the maps that you played on weren't even actually that bad. They were actually decent. But the double jumping it's not Call of Duty. I felt like I had to put 100 million bullets in somebody to kill them in this game. Just wasn't fun, honestly. Then we move on to Black Ops 3. I will give you this. Black Ops 3 is indefinitely the absolute best of the double jumping COD games. What I truly don't like in this 3 years that we got, including AW, Infinite Warfare, and BO3, not in that specific order though, is I feel like Call of Duty was trying to ride the hype off of Titanfall's success. And I feel like this hurt Call of Duty for 3 years, which is why we got supply drops. Because they saw a tanking in their game sales, which is where they're like, hey, we'll just add some old school guns in that everyone knows and loves, and we'll make them pay extra money for it. Cool. Not cool. Not cool, dude. But Black Ops 3, honestly, to me, out of all the Call of Duty games that had double jumping, was the best. It had the best maps, the best gunplay. I felt like, kind of like Black Ops 3, the only reason I don't like it is simply because there was wall running double jumping. Honestly, in Black Ops 3, it kind of gave you a Black Ops 2 sort of feel where most of the guns were viable. They weren't top, they may not have been top tier, but the guns were viable. What ruined Black Ops 3 was when they added supply drop weapons in that were just insanely dumb. I watched my buddy Snipes two-shot somebody with an M1 Garand or whatever it was that they added into the game on a game that would require you to hit one burst of an M8. He just two-bowled. Just that. Come on, dude. Let's be real. You were preying on kids, and you were mad that your game sales were tanking. Just admit it. Black Ops 4. What do you want me to say about this game? This game suffers from the exact same thing the last 4 Call of Duties I talked about did. Supply drop weapons. When they re-added the VMP into Black Ops 4, dude, I got pissed. The VMP was arguably better in Black Ops 4 than it ever was in Black Ops 3 because there was no double jumping, right? The only person that could, I guess, double jump was Ruin, and he had to use a grappling hook. But they added the VMP into this game, and it just destroyed the game. It was instantly top tier. It instantly was back to Black Ops 3 pre-nerf status. No recoil, insane fire rate, insane damage fall off. Stupid. Not to mention, you add stuff into this game like, oh, I don't know. Hold on, ready? You guys remember the Titan in this game? That, like, the very first LMG that had literally 0 recoil. It would kill you in 3 shots. And it had no damage fall off. Not a single, none at all. It would just kill you. If you heard somebody on the enemy team that had a Titan and they were good with it, you were just dead. Not to mention you have the operator system where you pick your operator. You got a special ability, which was just essentially free kills. It was kind of catering more towards bad players unless you use the high skill ones, kind of like Tempest. The maps were okay. The gameplay, not so much. Manual healing. I felt like I had to put 100 bullets in somebody to kill him, just like an AW. Just, to me, it was not a good game. Not to, and let me be honest here. The other reason, I keep bringing maps into this, we have not got any good maps in a Call of Duty game past Ghosts. Nothing. We've got and even Ghosts. Most of, the new maps were just remakes. And it kind of upsets me. Dude, have you just infinitely run out of creativity? I played Favela in Modern Warfare 2, and then I played Favela again in Ghosts. I don't want to play it again. But I digress. Now, the moment we've all been waiting for. The worst Call of Duty game, in my opinion, to ever exist. Call of Duty Infinite Shitfare. And I will call it that. Until the day I die. This game is trash. If you like this game, you like rewarding bad gameplay. This game is the pinnacle of bad gameplay. Terrible maps. Supply drop weapons that were so incredibly insane they made AWs look like baby. It just made it look like child's play. NV4 flatline, no damage drop off, put a silencer on it on hardcore, 1 bullet, everybody across the map. Let's be real here. NV4 flatline, stupid. No, and I mean no. There was no difference in what you were playing in Infinite Warfare. You were either using a K-bar or using the one SMG that was viable. I forget what it was. That's how little I played of this game. Maps, absolutely garbage. Gameplay, absolutely garbage. The only good thing that came out of Infinite Warfare was the fact that COD 4 Remastered came out of it. That's it. This is the tier list. If you guys don't agree with it, and that's fine. But I feel like I tried to rank these as fairly as I possibly could. Is this tier list perfect? Not in any sense. Some people absolutely despise Black Ops 2. I don't know how, and those people are probably cretins. But this is the tier list, guys. Call of Duty 3 and Modern Warfare are on the same level of brokenness, honestly. Now, honestly, you could argue that this game could be up here too. or it could even be up here if you like double jumping CODs. Like if you liked double jumping CODs specifically, Black Ops 3 could easily be B tier or even A tier if you liked them. I did not like them. That's why this is my opinion. I put them in D tier because I don't like double jumping Call of Duties because it's not a Call of Duty game at that point to me. Okay? But this is the tier list, and this is also, I've only played like 3 matches of Call of Duty 3, and it felt like 10 years ago. Okay, but I do remember it very vividly. I remember playing 2 matches and then just immediately getting off of it. These games I have not played, so I cannot give an opinion on them, but I'm assuming they probably play something like Call of Duty 3. We're being real, or even worse. This is the tier list, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, so this is going to be on YouTube, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss any of the new YouTube content that I put out here. Make sure you go over to my live stream, twitch.tv/thegodachilles. That's why I recorded this. I just ripped this straight from my live stream. You guys can come hang out with me. Help me revive old school Call of Duty games, guys, because we all know Call of Duty is going down the tubes. Join the Discord that's in the description. Get in there. Get active. We're bringing these Call of Duty games back. We're tired of Activision dunking their dicks in our asses for more money every year for a poop tier game. I'm going to sign off, though. That's the tier list, guys.